Right guys, welcome. It's Tuesday night. Welcome to the Late Night Agenda. I'm your host Craig, and as you can see from the title of tonight's show, let's make this a Jurgen Klopp appreciation stream. The man has been at the club for a long time now. He's done some tremendous things. We can talk about no silverware, we can talk about all the negative shit if you want, but why? Let's concentrate on the good stuff. Let's concentrate on the beautiful things Jurgen Klopp has done, the style of football we've been playing, the people he's brought to the club. I'm so looking forward to seeing what everybody has to say on this. I'll wait for the chat to fill up, then we'll get stuck straight into it. As I said, there's no games for 2 weeks now, guys. No fucking games for 2 weeks. What are we going to do? No Liverpool for 2 weeks is tough. It's gonna take a bit of getting used to. I hate these international breaks. Not somebody who likes international football generally. Nothing against it. It's just it interrupts Liverpool time, and Liverpool's what it's all about for me. Guys, I can see the chat is filling up already, so we'll get straight into it. I cannot wait to see what people have to say about our gaffer, because I love him. I'm sure you love him. It's going to be a pleasure. I'm really going to look forward to this one. Mick Swigs is in, Tom Boland, Dungeon Ferno, Paul, Will, Subi. How are we? How is everybody tonight? I thought, fuck the negativity. Let's go full on balls out. Let's make this a Jurgen Klopp appreciation stream, because the man has done some tremendous things for our football club. And I think it's about time. We had a James Milner appreciation stream a while back. Let's talk about KLOPP tonight. Let's talk about the man who is turning this club around. A man who's going to deliver us our first Premier League title. And I mean that. He will deliver us our first Premier League title. I've no doubts about that whatsoever. Will it be this year? We can but hope. But he will deliver us a Premier League title. That's a Craig promise. You have my promise on that one. Not worth shit, but you have my promise on it nonetheless. Lots of people saying hello. Evening Craig, let's go Mr. Klopp, said Anthony. Subi said we won 6-2. Nice one, mate. Glad to hear you won. Brilliant. Always happy to hear good news, mate. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Subi won his game 6-2. One of our subs who you couldn't make it on the other day because he was playing an important game. But so happy to hear you won, buddy. Love this channel. Thank you very much. Is that Psych Bits? Or Pacey Bits? I'm so sorry, mate. Pacey Bit Solutions and Packs. Love this channel. Thank you very much. Evening Craig. Let's go Mr. Klopp. Guys, look. What is there to say about Jurgen Norbert Klopp? When he came into Liverpool Football Club, I couldn't believe that we had got him as our manager. Honestly, it took me a good 6 to 12 months of saying to myself, is he really our manager? That's how much I rate this guy. It's the best piece of business that FSG have done since they've come to the club, in my eyes, without a shadow of a doubt. It was always going to take time when he came in. We've seen an evolution of play under Jurgen Klopp. This team has developed along the way. At the start, we had this really high-tempo gegenpress, and we were blowing teams away at times. We burned ourselves out as well. Sometimes in games, come 65, 70 minutes, the players weren't used to that intensity levels. They weren't used to that much running. But Klopp worked the players. Gradually, he brought in players to fulfill the roles he wanted them to do, whilst always getting more out of the players that were currently here. I mean, the levels of, we've gone back a bit here now, but the levels that Jordan Henderson, Adam Lallana rose to, levels that we hadn't really seen under other managers. Maybe with Hendo to an extent, to be fair. He had a very good season in 13-14. But Jurgen Klopp likes to work with the players that are within the club. Now, when he came in, we were at a point where we weren't as financially, what's the phrase I'm looking for here? Affluent as we are now. He had to work with what was here. He had to bring in some bargain basement signings at times. He didn't have the budget that he has now, but he increased the level from every single player at the club. Then he started making his purchases, his additions to the team. He's slowly turning this into a team in his own image, loving the likes of Jimmy Milner, loving the likes of Gini Wijnaldum. But this year, this summer alone was a big one. This summer he went out, well, last year into this summer, signed Virgil van Dijk, 75 million quid. World record transfer for defender. We went out and signed Alisson Becker. Broke the world record transfer for a goalkeeper. We spent big money on Fabinho. We brought in Naby Keita, as we know, from Leipzig, who was coming in last year. It was really strange, that deal, by the way that was structured. Brilliant piece of business by Liverpool to get the deal done a year in advance, and to pay a little bit over the buyout clause that would have been in his contract. It was a bit kind of hit and go to wait and see what fee we were going to have to pay in the end, depending on how Leipzig did that season, whether they qualified for the Champions League, the Europa League, won the league. Look, we got him in anyway. And these players, these Naby Keitas, the Virgil van Dijks, Alisson Beckers, they wouldn't be here, Fabinho, if it wasn't for one man. And that is the gaffer. That is Jurgen Norbert Klopp. I want to know your memories of the guy. I want to know your highs, your lows. your thoughts on his tactics. We'll talk about his substitutions. I know some people have not issues, but have qualms, I suppose is the right phrase, around when Jurgen Klopp makes his substitutions. I have at times expressed my frustration during games at why he hasn't made a change. But then I listened to him. I listened to him one time speaking about the reasoning behind him not making substitutions as early as some other managers do. And he said that he likes to give players an opportunity on the field to solve these puzzles or to turn around the things that aren't working for them. Now, I do love to hear that. I really do. But sometimes these puzzles just aren't being solved, and you know, things need to be changed around. But look, who am I to second guess Jurgen Klopp? He's one of the best managers in the world. Maybe he is the best manager in the world. I don't know. It depends on your preference. Some people might like a Pep. Some people might like a Conte. But let's think right back. Let's think back to the time when he was going to come into the club. There was two major candidates. There was Carlo Ancelotti and there was Jurgen Klopp. And I remember having a conversation with people, and there was a good chunk of people that wanted Carlo Ancelotti. And whilst Carlo Ancelotti is an exceptional manager, I mean, you cannot argue with his CV. His track record is fantastic. But for me, he didn't seem a good fit for Liverpool Football Club. He seemed like a manager who could come in and do the business, but he would need investment. He would need quality players. And that's okay, because he can get the best out of those, much like Pep Guardiola. But with Jurgen Klopp, you knew there was something different. There was something fundamental about Jurgen Klopp, about him as a person, about the way he would integrate himself into the culture, into the city. And there wasn't much integration into the culture, really, because as much as I don't understand politics as a whole, he seems, the very little I understand about socialism, he seems that type of person. He understands the working man's plight. He understands the game of football. He understands what it takes for people to come, the sacrifices they make. He's not a flashy dude. He makes everybody smile. The impact he had as soon as he came into the club. I mean, a smile and a handshake. Remember little things, people's names, kids' names, birthdays, wives' names. Stuff like that. The stories I've heard of the impact he made around the club immediately. And then we get on to things like his hugs, his pep talks, his actions on the sideline, his enthusiasm. It spreads throughout the club, throughout the fan base. He's had a go with the fans at times as well. He's questioned them. He said, you know, don't be leaving at 85 minutes. The team needs you. Be more vocal. He's turned around. He's G'd up the fans. And, you know, he hasn't been afraid to have a go as well. All things that I respect this manager for. If you could go, I've said this exact phrase numerous times over the streams. If you could go into a factory and get all the ingredients that you wanted and poured them in and came out with an ideal manager for Liverpool Football Club, I think you wouldn't be too far away from Jurgen Klopp. He has all the characteristics of a manager that I love, a manager that I'd want to have at this football club, a manager that feels the passion of the game, lives and breathes it as much as we all do. And that's Jurgen Klopp. That's my take on Jurgen Klopp. I love Jurgen Klopp. I'm so happy he's at the club. Like anybody else, he's human. He'll make mistakes. He'll learn from them. But I want your memories. I want your thoughts, guys. So let's go in and see how everybody's feeling. What else we got? Correct me if I'm wrong, but before we got Klopp, there were reports we were looking at Martinez. That's incorrect, Christopher. That was when we signed Rodgers. When Brendan Rodgers came in, there was a meeting with Martinez over in Boston, I think. There was that picture, that image doing the rounds of FSG, or of John W. Henry and Martinez walking down the road with a cup of coffee in their hand. Everybody seems to think that was a ploy to draw out Brendan Rodgers, because Brendan Rodgers said he wasn't going to come in and work under a director of football, that he wanted to get the full control of the club, which he got to an extent. But yeah, no, that was a different time. Giovinco hosting tonight, said Robbie. Not quite on his wages, buddy. Not quite on his wages. He's a good player, though. I have to say, I think he's too good for the MLS. And that's no disrespect to the MLS. I think it's more of a fact, if we're being honest. Klopp is king. Said John Newcomb 6 on Periscope. Thank you, John. He's the man. He's Jurgen fucking Norbert Klopp, baby. King of the Black Forest. Hi Craig and hi Mod, said Dirty Girl. Craig, when Klopp signed, I creamed my pants, said Stephen Richards. Man, do you know what? I'm giggling, I'm smiling here, but I wasn't too far behind you. I remember a great joke going around at the time that said, oh God, I want to get this right because I don't want to fuck it up. How much do you love Jurgen Norbert Klopp? Shrine in the bedroom or nickname Penis Jurgen? And that's up to you. I mean, you let us know which one you want. Only 17 subs off 4,500, said Mr. RJC. If we could hit that tonight, guys, that would be special. So if you're watching, you're joining us for the first time, welcome. This is a fan channel. This is a community channel. We're here to meet new Reds, to chat, to talk to people around the world. Always a pleasure to have newbies in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys. Don't forget to drop a like on the stream. And if you're wondering, are we here every night? We are. Most nights. We try to be here at 10, 10:15, which usually means 10:20 because I'm always fucking late on here. And it drives me mad that I am. But I am. I've got to be honest. So, get to know the people in the chat if you're new. Tell us your thoughts. We will respect your opinions. We're a very respectful bunch in here. All that we ask is that you show that same respect to people who are involved in the chat. As you can see, I changed the image again tonight in the background. I thought last night's one was a little bit too dark, a little bit too gloomy, although it was a beautiful image. I think tonight I wanted a little bit more bright. I wanted to see the stadium in all its glory. Evening, Craig. Kloppo was a legend, the best manager I've witnessed as my time as a Liverpool fan, going back to the early 90s. The trophies will come soon. Craig, have we ever seen a manager go as wild as Klopp when we score? It's a fucking thing of beauty, Stephen, isn't it? It really is. I love it. I love it. I love the I call it the Kango hammer celebration. I don't know what you got. You know, the one on the sideline. Look at my impression. Like, apologies for the state of that impression, but you know what one I'm talking about, don't you? It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I love the thumping of the chest. I love the fact that he sit there and pissed himself when Lucas had a shot that went nowhere near the net. I love the fact that he just broke his heart laughing. Jurgen Klopp comes across as a great man in press conferences, a true gentleman. What a fucking brilliant footballing man. I'll tell you a story actually, Tom. I don't usually go all misty-eyed or googly-eyed when I get the chance to meet people or famous people usually. But I never forget sitting in the press room for my first time in Dublin at a Jurgen Klopp press conference. It wasn't the summer gone, it was the one before that again. We were there for the Atletico Bilbao game, and I'll never forget when he first walked in. We had a chance to ask him a question. Jonathan asked him a question at the time, but I was all kind of like I couldn't bring myself to say anything. I was just in awe of the man. He sat there and it was like a beam, a glow around him. He just oozes charisma. And we were there the night before because Manchester United were playing, and the press passes that we had covered both games, so we said fuck it, we'd go watch the United game. Same thing, press conference after the game. Mourinho comes in like a sour-faced bastard. Honestly, I'm not making this shit up. He came in, looked like he didn't want to be there, looked like he'd weight the world on his shoulders. And then come the next night, Jurgen Klopp comes in. And bear in mind, this was at a time where he was dealing with the stuff around Coutinho. This is where Coutinho suddenly developed that back injury, you know, the first back injury. And Jonathan actually asked him a question during the press conference that was picked up by Sky and some other news outlets and ran around the world, so it was nuts for us at the time. But I'll never forget the positivity beaming from the happiness, the joy, even at a time where it was clearly stressful for him, fighting to keep hold of one of the best players at the club. So that for me just, this year we got to see him again at the press conference after the Napoli game. And again, I have to admit, I was almost a stuttering fucking idiot. And I love Jurgen Klopp. I absolutely love him. And I've met quite a few famous people over the years, been in some good situations, managed to shake hands with the president and a few other things. But yeah, I've never felt as nervous as I have. I've met Didi Hamann, Luis Garcia, Djibril Cissé, Vladimir Smeets, Jamie Carragher. I met Robbie Fowler, Steve McManaman, lots of people, lots of legends, people I've looked up to and admired, but there's just something about Kloppo. There's just, I don't know. John Newcomb says it there in Periscope, I've never seen such a perfect fit. And that's it, John, you've nailed it, mate. That's how I feel as well. Best game, Borussia Dortmund 4-3, and worst game, Bournemouth 4-3. That Dortmund game, there was something about that, wasn't there? There was something about that night. Something, I know it was the Europa League. It wasn't one of the biggest games in European history, but there was just, something was proved that night. There was just, Thomas Tuchel didn't know what the fuck was going on. Borussia Dortmund were an excellent side. Marco Reus that night was sensational. They tore us apart at the start of that game. But to get back into it the way we did, and with that game with the 4-all on aggregate, you knew. Everybody knew. Thomas Tuchel knew. Borussia Dortmund knew. Their fans knew. The stadium knew. Us watching at home knew. We knew what was coming. We didn't know how it was going to come. We didn't know who was going to deliver the killer blow, but we knew it was coming. And then lo and behold, Dejan Lovren leaps like a salmon to nod Liverpool in and take us through to the next round. And I'll never forget that feeling. I will never forget the good feeling around the fan base that night. I listened to an Anfield rap podcast, and I think still to this day it's probably my favourite podcast of theirs. The guys were half pissed in the studio. There was people coming in from everywhere celebrating. If I remember correctly, I think Gibbo was going around shirtless in the studio. It was just a beautiful time to be a Liverpool fan, and it was the start of something special. And then we've got last year's Champions League run. This all being given to us by, yes, the owners to a degree, but the manager, the gaffer, the man we're here to talk about, Jurgen Norbert motherfucking Klopp. Craig, apparently we're linked with Dembele. I don't know, man. We'll talk about that another night, Scotty, with all due respect, or later on in the stream. I think Jurgen Norbert Klopp. And I'm going to keep saying Norbert Klopp because it sounds fucking good when you get to say the word Norbert over and over again. Jurgen has brought in some belters, and those players who he's brought in, they could fuck about in their place. Anthony Peters said Mr. Klopp is the perfect fit for Liverpool, has his plans in place, step by step it's happening, champions elect, get the attack sorted, focus on the defence, 2 months time, boom, and that's it, mate. Fuck it, we're gonna do it, let's go balls out, let's believe, we're going to do it. Liverpool will win this motherfucking Premier League, whether it's this season or not, we can hope. Klopp is keeping pace with Pep Guardiola on half the budget, again from John Newcombe on Periscope. Thank you, John. Louise said, hi Craig and Liverpool family, Klopp is the best. At least he admits his team's gone wrong and is willing to improve all the time and see what's best for the players and the team. But that's it. He does. I like, you've probably heard him say before that at the start or in every pre-season, when he's finalised his squad, he sits down with the players and he makes a contract with those players for the season ahead. He says to the players, look, you back me, I'll back you, through hell or high water, we're making this contract, this bond together, let's go to war for the season and let's get each other's back. I love that. I absolutely fucking love that. Just think about this, Jurgen Klopp is the Liverpool manager, said Will. Damn right, mate. Damn fucking right. Can you imagine the direction the club could have gone under somebody else? What would have happened if we brought in Carlo Ancelotti? And look, as I said, Carlo Ancelotti is an excellent manager. This is in no way meant for me to talk down about Carlo Ancelotti. I have nothing but the height of respect for that man. Tremendous football man, great player and an even better manager. But it just wasn't the right fit for me at the time. I think it was Graham Kelly was the first person to come out and say that Liverpool had got... I'm sure it was Graham Kelly that was the first person to come out and say Liverpool had got Klopp. And I wouldn't believe it. I just refused to believe it. And then once you see James Pearce, you know it's true once James Pearce comes out and says it. It was just fucking beautiful. And to this day, I still pinch myself that Jurgen Klopp was manager of Liverpool. And there could be fans from other clubs or other streams watching this, maybe City fans that are sitting there rolling around the ground laughing at us. You know what? Fuck them. Because that's why we're different gravy. That's why Liverpool fans are a different breed. We feel, love, live this club. And to have a manager that we feel is doing the same or is on the same level as us, the same wavelength as us, it's beautiful. Other clubs don't have this. We've seen the Manchester City fans trying to get an atmosphere, trying to get a sing-song going, and the best they could do was sing about us after robbing our own song. There's some difference, guys. This is a tremendous club. Do you remember Jurgen Klopp came here at Borussia Dortmund, and he said he does this with a lot of teams, but he stood at the halfway line and he looked down towards the Kop. He was here with his Dortmund team. I can't remember if it was a pre-season. I think it was a pre-season friendly. I'm fairly sure it was a pre-season friendly. I think it was just after we signed Dejan Lovren as well from Southampton. I remember he was there staring at the halfway line, looking down towards the Kop. I remember thinking to myself, please someday get this man into the club. Never thinking we'd get him. I was sure he'd end up somewhere like Arsenal actually, because I never thought he'd go to a Manchester United or a Manchester City. And I don't think he'd go to a Bayern Munich either, although many people do. I just think he likes the idea of a project, but a viable project. And from to come into Liverpool when he did, he could have had... I mean, I'm sure the offers were piled up on his table. But for him to have chosen Liverpool and then to quickly commit to another long term, was it 6 or 7 year contract he signed? It's just like, I'm still in awe. So when I see the odd Klopp out comment on social media, I ask myself, what the fuck these people want? What are they seeing? What do they feel we can do better? Who do they think is going to come in and get more from this bunch of players, or bring this club as far as he has? Jurgen Klopp is perfect, and there will come a time where he'll leave the club. There will, of course. It's just progression. It happens with every manager, whether that's another 5 years, 3 years, 10 years, we don't know. But there will come a time when he moves on. And one thing we can all be sure of is that when he leaves this football club, he will leave this football club in a much stronger position than when he arrived. A much stronger position. When he came in, he said that, I think in his press conference or one of his first interviews, he said that's his aim. His aim is to come in and set this football club up to have long-term sustainable success. You don't get that when you bring in a Jose Mourinho. Mourinho may come in, he may win fucking trophies, he may deliver. Not knocking the man in that way. He's a prick. I don't like him. A cunt. Excuse me, that's a strong word, but that's how much I dislike Mourinho. I don't like, he's a hypocrite. He's like Mark Goldbridge, only much more successful, but on the same level of cuntiness. We could have had somebody like him. Somebody who come in and he'll win you stuff, but he doesn't give a fuck about bringing young players through. I don't care what he says about his stats, about Rashford or whatever. He doesn't care. He milks the clubs dry. He gets every fucking ounce out of aging players. And he'll deliver. Oh my God, he'll deliver, don't get me wrong. But he's a 3-year manager. 3-year cycle, move on. And the next person that comes in after, a manager like Mourinho, is up shit creek. Because he's left with an aging, overpaid squad, and it costs the club a fucking fortune to fix the situation. We won't get that with Klopp. Klopp will leave us in a much stronger position. Susan said, watched an interview with Kada today. He said Klopp is serious, but at the same time he cares about each and every player, which is brilliant. Not many managers are like that in the Premier League. Where's Rod's comment? I see a comment there from Rod a second ago. Ben said, hey Craig, I've not been on long, just in from the hospital. I had bloods taken. I hope everything's okay, Ben, mate. Yeah, I hope it is okay. Well, fingers crossed the blood test will get to the bottom of it anyway, mate. It's amazing what they can do with tests these days, blood tests and stuff. It really is. Craig, Klopp would fit in well at the Animo, said Stephen Richards. Mate, he'd have that place, sing songs every night, arm in arms, linked. No better man, no better buckle, as we say in Ireland here, which is boy in Irish. It's going to be good this season. Let's see how City cope with Liverpool being right behind them. Last season City had it too easy, said Christopher. Anthony said, what I like about him is he's willing to learn and change from his mistakes and acts on the problems. Mossy, where's Mossy's comment? Sorry. I just hope Klopp leaves at the correct time and not do a Wenger. He won't do a Wenger, mate. He absolutely won't. That's one thing you can be sure of. He won't outstay his welcome. If he feels it isn't right, he'll walk away. He just seems like that type of man. Craig, who's the guy who sorts all these boss transfers? We should have an appreciation night for him. Michael Edwards. Or is it Phil Hogan? Hogan, what's the guy's name? What's his first name? Is it Phil Hogan? Hogan. There's Barry Hunter. There's Michael Edwards. I can't remember the guy. Is it Billy Hogan? Billy Hogan, excuse me, it's Billy Hogan. Yeah, so there you go. Michael Edwards, though, is the guy you want to give the credit to. I just hope he leaves the correct time. We've read that one. Oh, there, look, I've even read it. Connor's already posted Michael Edwards. Yeah, Connor said he's going to get a Michael Edwards tattoo, by the way, if we win the league this year. And you can be fucking sure I'm holding him to that. That is content right there. So if we win the league this year, I've made my promise. I promised I'd grow a red mohawk, and I will. But I'm going to hold Connor to his, by the way. You will see a fucking Michael Edwards tattoo on that young man. If we win the league, would you get a Klopp tattoo, Craig, since you're into your ink? No, mate. It's not the type of ink that I'm into. Getting portraits and stuff, it isn't really what I like, so no on that one. Would I get something to commemorate us winning the league though? Yes, absolutely I would. I've no idea what, but I would certainly be getting something. I think if Liverpool gets Stevie G next manager, we'd be going backwards. It's too early to say that, lads. I mean, look, in an ideal world, he goes on, does really well at Rangers, perhaps moves on somewhere else, does a couple of years there, succeeds, and then comes in, but you have to see how his career progresses. It's far too early now to say that he's fit for the job, but you know, I hope he does well, because it will be an amazing story for him to come full circle, start out as a kid, play captain, win the European Cup, and then to come back and manage. It would be sweet, be nice to see someday, but only in the right context, and only if he's qualified for the job, if he deserves the job, if we think he could benefit the club. You don't just do these things, and they wouldn't do it, I'm sure. You don't just do these things out of courtesy or out of a feeling of a debt of gratitude or something, because football isn't a sentimental business. Well, it shouldn't be. I want to win the Premier League if this year. If not this year, we'll do it because one hell of a joyride we're on to Tom Boland. It is an amazing fucking ride. I love it. Why don't you like Goldbridge? Said Lizzie. Because he's false. That's why, Lizzie. He's just a lying sack of shit, basically. He changes his opinions to suit the audience that he's trying to play to. For years on end, he hated Scousers, hated Liverpool fans, couldn't despise them enough, couldn't talk badly about them enough. And now all of a sudden he's changed his tune. He's trying to become friendly with Liverpool fans. He's trying to say he's seen the error of his ways. I can see right through him. He's just trying to cash into a wider audience. I also don't like the fact that he changes his opinion about his own club. He's Mourinho in 1 week, he's Mourinho out the next week. He only says things to get a reaction. He knows how to play social media. I'll give him. He's very clever in that sense. He's not this idiot that people may believe he is. He's very fucking clever to build up that channel like he has and to get a following like he has. Credit where it's due in that sense, but he's false. He's absolute false, and he makes a mockery, for me, of what a lot of fan channels try and do. And I want to say congratulations, by the way, to Redmen TV. I believe they won an award as Northwest Fan Channel of the Year. Excuse me if I got that one wrong. I just seen it on social media earlier on. Look, Redmen TV, people could say they're somewhat of a competition. They're not. This is a big red family. I said to you guys before, I love and respect everybody that makes Liverpool content. As fans, we're spoiled. I think we've got some of the best fan content there is. So congratulations to the guys at Redmen. They will probably never see this. They don't know who I am. But you know what? It's great to see other people doing well. It's great to see people making Liverpool content and it being recognised as some of the best out there. So they put the work in. They put a lot of hours in. So well done to Redmen TV. And Anfield Rap are forever winning stuff as well. So well done to them. Klopp would fit in anywhere. He just exudes class and positivity. Makes others around him feel more confident. Craig, I'm a Liverpool fan, but I'm going to watch a Leeds United match at the stadium. Will I be fine? Of course you will. Absolutely, mate. Enjoy. My uncles, actually 2 of my uncles are Leeds fans. Hulk Hogan, said Mr. RJC. If only we had the Hulkster. If only Hulk. Imagine that. The Kloppster and Hulkamania running wild. Fuck me. The charisma overload that there would be there. James Doherty, that's your opinion. I think a few seasons in Scotland, then maybe a few in England, then maybe Liverpool. Said Christopher with regards to Stevie G. Did you hear about our new head physio? He's come over from City. I did. Fair play. I want the best of the best at Liverpool in every sense. Nutritionists, doctors, physios. So yeah, brilliant. Great to have him in. I made a joke yesterday that watch fucking Man City will just go and buy the NHS or something now out of spite. If Mane were to leave in the summer, Dybala would be a great replacement. He most certainly would. We won't get him, but he absolutely would be a great replacement. Forget City, don't get obsessed with City on and off the field. We need to concentrate on Liverpool. 38 game marathon, the Premier League. 100% agree, mate. Fuck Manchester City. All we can focus on is Liverpool every week. Liverpool can't affect what Manchester City do. We can only affect them on the games we play against them, which is 2 a season in the league. And then probably 2 where we knocked them out of the European Cup as well. So apart from that, leave them to it. But there's one thing we can be certain of. I think what the last couple of weeks has taught us, when we've heard Pep talking about Raheem Sterling, or talking about an incident that happened at Anfield last season when he was asked a question about Sterling tripping up for a penalty. We've heard the fans singing about Liverpool. We've heard them trying to rob our songs. If there's one thing we can be sure of, it's that we are inside their heads. Liverpool fans, Liverpool Football Club are living rent-free inside Pep Guardiola and Manchester City's heads. Whether they like to admit it or not, we know they are. It's brilliant to see. I'm so happy that we're getting under their skin. They're trying their best to become relevant to us, and they never will. because they're false. They're a cheating set of bastards. The club is built on the foundation of lies. They're financially doping, and they've got no class, not an ounce of class. Whereas us, we're doing things the right way. We're building slowly. We're building for, as I said, sustainable success. FSG could leave tomorrow, and whoever comes in, the club's there on a good, stable financial footing. We all know what happens if the sheikh gets bored. You have to respect Gerrard to basically take a risk and to go to Rangers. 100%. Look, you can have the conversation around moving up there and taking on Celtic with Rangers, because it's a massive task. Celtic at this moment in time are pretty much streets ahead of Rangers, but he's doing a decent job. He's doing pretty well in the Europa with them. I think he's 2 points behind Celtic now in the league, which isn't much, so you have to say he has balls, and that's one thing we know about Steven Gerrard. So yeah, well done to him. He went and took on a big challenge. Whether Rangers are in Scotland or not, what he is getting there is he's getting used to managing a club with a big fan base, a club with big expectations, and he's learning on the job. So, you know, whether you're a Celtic fan, a Rangers fan, whatever, at the end of the day, I'm a Steven Gerrard fan, so I want Steven Gerrard to succeed, and it will be a beautiful story to see him at the club, but it has to be in the right context. Hi Reds, what do you think about Pereira as a free transfer from United? Said Lars. I could be wrong on this, Lars, but is there not something in this contract that they can trigger one more year? Or I know there's a couple of their players. I think De Gea they can trigger one more year, which they will. And there was a couple more that they had that option to trigger the year on. I'm not sure if Pereira was one of them, but I think he may have been. Yeah, well done Redman, said Mr. RJC. I followed them for a while, and like I said before, I come here for something different. Redman are brilliant. I'd love to see you on their channel. It's never going to happen, mate. Just because I like to keep doing things on my own. Love and respect to Redman, as I said. Well done. I am genuinely delighted that they won the award. I don't know the guys personally at all, but you'll never see me on their channel because I do my thing, they do their thing, Daz does his thing, everybody does their own bit, but I still respect the hell out of everyone that makes content. There's one specific group of people I wish they'd just fucking drop off a cliff, but we're not here to talk about negativity. Harry Redknapp must be desperate for money, seeing that he's going on I'm a Celebrity. Not quite Jurgen Klopp related, but look, we'll take it for a second. He's a $500,000, I believe, is the figure that he's after getting to go on there. John Newcomb said United always add that 1 year into the deals, which is true. They do seem to have it with quite a lot of their players. Harry Redknapp must be desperate. We've read that one. Hit the like button, says Lars. Please do, guys. Don't forget to drop a like on the stream. You've been really good to us lately. It's been picking up and up and up. There's been 3 or 4 dislikes on each stream, which is hilarious because it's so clear where they're coming from, but we'll leave the pettiness to one side. If you're enjoying the stream, if you're new, firstly, don't forget to put your comment in the chat. Don't forget to let us know your opinion. But also, please, guys, do hit that subscribe button because we're inching closer to that 4.5k. And I like to celebrate the little things in life. So if we could just get over that line, that'll be another little plus for us on our journey here at Anfield Agenda. We want, what's this? We want the titles, but City want to be us. Titles, I think you meant. Fuck City. Honest to God, fuck them. Fuck them and their plastic club, their non-existent fan base. It's hilarious. Where's this comment about the physio? Excuse me, guys. I'm just trying to find a specific comment. Here we go. Craig, the physio was on 10 million a year according to City's account. Yeah, probably a month, probably. 10 million. He's absolutely amazing in his field. 10 million a month, definitely. I love that Stephen. Every night so far, Stephen's come on and given me some makey-uppy figure just to have a little dig at Manchester City and their accounting, and I love it, mate. Long may it continue. On a separate note, and we'll get back around to KLOPP, but I like to say these things before I forget because I don't write stuff down most of the time. Sometimes I come on with a bit of an agenda. Sometimes I just play it by ear, and tonight I'm playing it by ear. Did anybody see that we've got a new chief executive for the Premier League? So congratulations. I can't remember the lady's name, but congratulations to her. The outgoing chief executive or chairperson, I can't remember what they're called, was Richard Scudamore. Now there's a story doing the rounds. It came from the Daily Mail, but I think it is a Bruce Buck that's the chairman of Chelsea. I think that's his name. Apparently, they're looking to get each Premier League club to, is it 150 grand or 200 grand, something along those lines. They want the Premier League clubs to cough up and give Mr. Scudamore a £5 million golden handshake to say goodbye, basically. Now, Richard Scudamore's contract, I think he's been at the Premier League for 15 years, something along those lines. And his wages were apparently up to 2 million a year, including bonuses, maybe even a smidgen over 2 million a year. So for them to be looking to give him a £5 million or £5 million fucking golden handshake, and for the clubs to pony up for this, is disgusting. I hope everybody tells them to go and fuck themselves. There's no way the club should be paying this. It's ridiculous. Imagine what 200 grand could do for fans, or 200 grand could do for local charities. It's mental. It's mental that it's even been discussed. And I have nothing against Mr. Scudamore. Richard Scudamore has clearly done amazing work with the Premier League. He's made it the most financially successful league in the world. I'm sure he's been compensated for that within his contract. This golden handshake stuff seems absolute nonsense. Ben said, I'm a Glasgow Rangers fan. You must be happy enough so. I'd imagine so, Ben, the way things are going. Tina Murphy said, hi Craig, I read that PSG might have sanctions for our game and they might have to play behind full or partly behind closed doors. Interesting. What are those sanctions because of, Tina? Is it FFP or is it something else? Did their fans do something at a game or something like that? I know in France there's been some fucking crazy fan stuff going on in France. Like, they do not give a shit. When they're pissed off in France, they let you know. Some of the stuff I've seen inside stadiums there on TV is mental. Mossy Wassy said 5k target by Christmas. Absolutely. 5,000 subscribers was our target for the entire season, mate, but I think we can get there by Christmas. I mean, 500 subs, a couple of live streams, a couple of watch-alongs, a couple of new subscribers, you never know, we should get there. We'll definitely get there by the end of the season. That much I'm absolutely confident of. But it's weird, this 4.5k, we've been very close to it for a while. And we I seem to have just hit a brick wall at the minute, which is grand. I mean, there's no pressure on here. I'm happy to have you guys on here each and every night. It's a pleasure. But it's also good to try and grow it as well. So if we can get past that 4.5, that would be amazing. 250,000 each, said Tina Murphy. Thank you. That's a lot of dough. That is a lot of dough. It's nothing in terms of football. I mean, 250 grand is what? It's not even 1 week of Mesut Ozil's wages, but to us normal people, it's a crazy amount. Anyway, let's get back around to KLOPP, because that's what we're here to talk about. Let me know your favourite Jurgen Klopp moment. We'll get into some possible negatives around the manager. If you have any, if you have anything you think he can improve on, by all means put that in as well. This is the Jurgen Klopp appreciation night, but you know, we've got to be fair in our opinions of the guy as well. What did Red Men win? So I think it was... I don't want to... It was the Northwest Fan TV Channel Award or something along those lines. Whatever it is, it's a tremendous achievement, so well done to them. Jurgen can be at Anfield and LFC. Great, we just need to get over the line in finals. I believe within his years with us, by the end of it, we'll be very happy. Hashtag success is coming, said Damien McKenna. Damo, you're right, mate. And I'm going to call you Damo, if that's okay. If it's not, apologies. You're right. Good times are here. Good times are coming. And he will get over the line. There's things about final, it makes me laugh because people think he chokes in finals. It's not fucking Klopp's fault. It's not Klopp's fault that what happened to Mo Salah happened. It's not Klopp's fault that he overachieved with Borussia Dortmund and got them to a Champions League final where they played Bayern Munich, a team with a much bigger budget that were better on the day and got the job done. It's not Klopp's fault that Liverpool choked in the second half against Sevilla. I mean, Daniel Sturridge put us 1-0 up. We should have seen that game out. It's just unlucky the way those 6 finals have gone from. It's got nothing to do with him choking. So when I see some people talking about that, it always kind of gives me a bit of a chuckle because it's complete bullshit. Love the Europa League pressers, always swore but got everybody laughing, said Mr. RJC. Good night, Christopher, mate. An early one for you, buddy, but good night nonetheless. Lizzie says, Craig, what do you do when Liverpool's not playing the weekend? I feel so lost. Lizzie, I'm the same, mate. It's tough. It really is tough. I'm a football fan first and foremost, so I try and watch any football I can. International football I really struggle with. I'd much rather watch League 2 stuff. But yeah, I struggle at the weekends. If there's darts on, I'd watch that. If there's boxing on, of course I'd watch that. UFC, I'd watch that. I just try and get through. I'll spend some time with the family, but it does feel like there's something missing from your week. Even though it might be only one weekend, it's 2 full weeks realistically before the Reds play again. So yeah, it's gonna be tough. But you know what? We'll get through it together. Hopefully we can have some fun times and some laughs along the way. PSG have no sanctions. Not seen that, fake news. Doesn't mean that it's not true, lads on mate. It just means you haven't seen it. Same way I can't say whether it's right or wrong, buddy. When they played against Red Star, apparently PSG had about 250 fans outside the stadium throwing items at the police. The game was being played behind closed doors. I remember that one alright, but that was, I think PSG fans have been, not PSG, sorry, Red Star Belgrade fans have been banned from travelling to all away games this year, I think. I think I'm correct in that one. In the Champions League, sorry, in the Champions League I meant. Is Moreno going to Arsenal? This is a transfer rumour. I think it's an easy transfer rumour, Subi, for people to put together because you have the connection with the manager from his time at Sevilla. Of course, Alberto Moreno's contract is up in Liverpool at the end of this season. Will he reunite with the manager and go to Arsenal? I don't know. I really don't know. If you're an Arsenal fan and defence is one of their weakest points, are you looking at Alberto Moreno coming in and going, do you know what? That's going to improve our defence right there. I wouldn't worry about it. If he goes, he goes. If he doesn't, he doesn't. He's not doing too much for Liverpool at the minute, and I've nothing against the guy. He seems like a lovely fella. Always has a smile on his face. But if he goes to Arsenal, he goes to Arsenal. It's another case of somebody who has fulfilled his contract, has done what he's signed on to do, and you know, nothing but respect to the guy. Craig, loved it when we scored against Norwich and Klopp lost his specs. Was it Lallana who jumped on him or hit him that time and lost them? That was a fucking crazy game as well. That game against Norwich, that was crazy. Klopp when he scored against Arsenal when he broke his glasses. What else is there? Tina Murphy said, lads, it's still being discussed what action will be taken against them. Thank you very much. I love it. You guys always fill me in on these things. Thank you. Ferno was brilliant at it as well. He's always given me some little tidbits, which I do appreciate because sometimes I haven't got the time to go through the news as thoroughly as I'd like. And today was one of those days. I was actually working on our other project a little bit today. Yeah, there's a lot of work going in behind the scenes on this, by the way, to try and push it forward. It will have nothing to do with Anfield Agenda, really. It'll be a separate project altogether that myself and Connor are working on. But it's going to be fun. I can't wait to get my teeth stuck into this one. Klopp could be my dad, said Nabil Fekir. He could be, mate. I mean, in a way, he's kind of all of our daddies, isn't he? In a way. City and Chelsea have had more success than us in recent times, but we have to keep going. They've had far better squads in the past, but now we're competing with them, said Hem-A. Yeah, they have, to be fair. Chelsea did really, really well under Conte, his first year here, to win the league. They did really, really well. They've had some great squads, they've had some good managers, but, you know, everything... Somebody said to me before, football is cyclical. I think it was Rod. And, you know, we had our period of success. United had a very barren spell. Now kind of we're going through somewhat of a barren spell. From a league perspective, yes, a very barren spell. But as I said, football is cyclical and it's coming back around. And I feel like there's going to be some sustainable Liverpool success coming up. Craig, I've tried watching the Irish League football. It's not up to much, said Stephen Richards. It's not brilliant, Stephen. There's a couple of decent teams in there. Cork City plays some good football. The Dock play some good football. Shamrock Rovers can play good football on their day, but all in all, it's not a great league. But they did make a brilliant move a few years ago. They moved it to a summer league, basically because the weather. You know, they don't want to be playing through the weather. It's shitty. They wanted to get people in. They wanted to get fans going to the game. So they thought if they moved it, made it a summer league, have longer evenings, better weather. I think they've made it free for kids in a lot of places as well if you're going in with an adult. So they're trying their best, and it was a really good move. And the Irish League has progressed. It's, you know, it's a far way behind the English leagues, but yeah, it's tough because when you've got any talent over here, and I know this from my time going up to the youth ranks, it's over to England. That's where you go. You get your opportunities. You go over there for a trial, and you hope to have your career over there. And then some people like to come back and finish their careers in the Irish League. Damien Duff did it. He came back and finished his career at Shamrock Rovers, which was nice to see. What would you swap? Would you swap Albi for Ramsey? Of course. This is damn right I would. That's a no-brainer. Alberto Moreno for Aaron Ramsey swap, yes please. Now, of course, it wouldn't make sense because both only have 6 months on their deal. It would make no sense for the players to sign on to that deal because there's massive signing on bonuses and stuff to be done there, so it won't happen. But yeah, of course, if it was on offer, damn right. But then would I take Ramsey over somebody else? I don't know, not in that position. So maybe I'm just looking at the straight swap deal for Ramsey and I'm looking at this in a stupid kind of FIFA kind of way. But overall, yeah, look, if you were to say you could have one of these two players, don't worry about money around, then yes, of course you take Ramsey, but it's a swap that's never going to happen. I spend time with my family too. These things international breaks do to people, said Ben. It's tough, I know. Have to say hello, reintroduce yourself to the family. John said Klopp is putting himself under enough pressure without us adding to it. We don't need to add to it, you're right. We need to get behind him, we need to back him, and we need to believe. Turn doubters into believers, as he said, or as the club said. Somebody fucking said it. Was it Klopp? I don't know. But let's live by that and let's go with that anyway. I think it was Benteke Lallana scored that game, said Cameron. PSG could face away for sanctions. I'm not even going to read that name out. It could be BS. Could be, but at the same time, if it's printed, there has to be something to it. So look, let's just wait and see. One thing is for sure, they are reopening the investigation into their financial fair play, or they're re-looking at the books or something. I remember reading that a while ago. When Keegan and Pepe left, I don't know what that's about. What else have we got? I've hammered United supporters about this. It is cyclical. When we were winning, they screamed. When they got to the top, suddenly they said it was dynastic. Is that even a word? Dynastic. I didn't know that was a word. If it is a word, it's a fucking nice word. And now they think time has passed them by. So it was Farrell actually. Excuse me, it wasn't Ron, it was a Rod, it was Farrell. Thank you, mate. Craig, I just had a phone call from the hospital. They said my hormones are all over the place and that it's making me angry. Honestly, I don't know, mate. Just go back to your doctor and see what they say. Look, it's nothing serious, and not that your hormones aren't serious, but you know, it's not the worst news. I don't really know what to say in these situations, buddy. I just hope you're okay, and it seems that you are, so just go and listen to your doctors and follow their advice. That's all I can really say, my friend. Thoughts on Brexit, lads? Mate, this isn't the place to talk about Brexit. This isn't the place to talk about politics, so unfortunately I'm going to have to pass over that one. If people in there want to comment, that's up to themselves, but for me, I couldn't give a fuck about Brexit or May or what happens in England politically, because they made their own fucking bed, lie in it. Do you get to many games, Craig? Said Damien. Yeah, I kind of do, mate. It's been a bit of a barren spell for me in the past, well, this season so far. It's weird because what usually happens is I get over to games between January and May, because before then we're usually saving up for our family holiday, which is in October, and then after that you're saving up for Christmas. But I try to get over to between 3, 5, 6 games a year, something like that. A lot of the time it just depends on tickets. If I can get tickets to more games, I go to more games. It's getting harder and harder and harder to get tickets though. Craig, today I had a bad day. I've come onto your channel and it's put a smile on my face, put me in a good mindset and my depression on the side. I could not thank you enough, mate. You've got nothing to thank me for. It's a pleasure having you on here with us every night. Thank you for giving us your time. If it makes you smile, that's an absolute bonus, Subi. But you're a highlight, mate. You're great to have on the channel, and thank you for your continued support, and I hope you keep feeling better, because it's great to hear that you're smiling, mate. It's a beautiful thing. My friend used to go play with Shamrock Rovers when he used to live in Ireland. His name was Aaron Bulger or something like that, in case you guys know. Aaron Bulger. No, doesn't ring a bell with me, but Connor would be more in tune with the Irish League than me. Lara said, a Swedish LFC fan met Klopp in Germany and should take a photo with his phone, and Klopp took his mobile and said, have you know about this new thing called a selfie, and I'll take a picture with him. Klopp's just a legend. I love the guy. Do you remember when he went out into the bar when it was the boss night out? What was your man's name? Was it Jamie, the guy that sings the song? I'm so sorry I've forgotten his name. The guy who sings LA with the guitar. I don't know the guy's name. I'm so sorry that I've forgotten his name. But yeah, for Klopp to go into the bar as well over in America, and he's just a top fella. He really is. He's just a normal fella. There's just he's no airs and graces about him. He's just a good, honest skin, as we'd say over here in Ireland. Here we go. Brexit means breakfast. There you go, said Connor. There you go. Brexit means breakfast. Deal with it. We're on one hell of a ride with Klopp. Enjoy it, said John. I'm enjoying it, mate. I hope you're enjoying it. There's been some down times, but not too many. All in all, it's been very positive under Kloppo. Klopp made Anfield a fortress again. Well done, Lizzie. Great point. Let's talk about that. I put this on a post on social media. Liverpool have been unbeaten for 18 months in the Premier League at Anfield. Now think about that. 18 fucking months we're unbeaten at Anfield. That is a tremendous achievement. Jurgen Klopp has done exactly as Lizzie has said. He has turned Anfield into a fortress again. Think about it. I know I'm going to keep repeating myself, sorry, but 18 months to be unbeaten at home in the Premier League, that's a tremendous achievement. Mate, honestly, I don't mean to be disrespectful, lads on, but I honestly don't care about Brexit, mate. I understand you're trying to put it into a football context, and I respect you for trying to bring it back around, but just not today, man. It's time to have some fun, kick back and relax, and there's enough negativity in the world. We don't really want to bring it on here. Let's try and have a bit of fun. If that's okay. I don't mean to disrespect you because you're taking the time to come on and post into the chat, and I do appreciate that, but politics and football, they shouldn't really mix. Unless, of course, you're Manchester City and PSG, in which case, you cheat away. I'd rather have an owner like FSG than an endless pit of money like the Arabs. Excuse me, like Arabs. There wasn't no "the" in there. FSG is a family-based business, not money talks business. Well, to be fair, they're not really a family-based business. They're an investment firm that are there to make money. They run things in a good way. How am I going to put this without sounding like a dick? They're an investment firm that are here to increase profits for themselves in the long term. They speculate to accumulate. They've come in, they've done up Liverpool Football Club, they've tarted it up a little bit, they brought in a great manager, they brought in some great players, increased the value of the club, and eventually they'll sell it on. That's great. That's the correct way for owners to come in and run a club. You have an owner like the Abu Dhabi owners or Sheikh Mansour, who buys it as a statement. He buys it to basically show his wealth and to show the world, to showcase his country to the world, basically, is what they're doing. And they're making a mockery of the rules. But we have got good owners. We have very good owners who know what it means to run a sports business. They, of course, own the Boston Red Sox. They own, what's the name of the motor racing? Is it Fenway? Not Fenway. What is it called? They own a motor racing team or something as well, and I think they own a sports network. Jamie Webster, thank you, Brian. What a fella he is, by the way. Well, fair play to him. He's what a fella. One man and his guitar. I mean, there's just something beautiful about that, isn't there? Klopp should do whatever it takes to get Lorenzo Insigne. He'd be perfect as a Coutinho replacement. I'm on the fence with him, I have to say. I've said before, I've seen him do some brilliant things and there's no doubt in his quality, but I've also seen him be really greedy, really selfish at Napoli and take on things that just aren't there. But I suppose if anybody's going to get the best out of him, Kloppo would be the man to do it. And he does seem to have pushed his game on a little bit, in all fairness. Of course, FSG are about money, otherwise they wouldn't have any, said Mr. RJC. They have to be, don't they? But as you said, they're here, they're building a good club, and excuse me, their heart's in the right place. Is that the right thing to say? I don't know. They're not evil owners. I think that's the best way I can put it. They're trying to keep everybody happy. They're trying to do things in the right way from a business perspective, and yeah, they're doing okay. What's the hangnail? What's the GM bit? GNG? I don't understand, mate. Phil, are you having a stroke, Phil, on Periscope, mate? I don't know what you're trying to say. Politics divides and football can bring us together. I love Insigne, but it's getting him away from his home club, said Mr. RJC. True, he is a Napoli boy through and through. What else have we got? Craig, by the time FSG sell us, we'll have a 58,000 capacity stadium, a great setup, a new training facilities, and of course a good squad. with Jurgen Klopp in charge. Let's not forget that. Anyway, NESV, that's the one, New England Sports Ventures. Thank you, Brian. Brian, you're a fucking star, mate. You're always covering my ass. Thank you. Changed that name recently. One thing money can't buy is the Champions League. Just ask City and PSG. So true. So true. How funny is it to be in a group with Paris Saint-Germain, Napoli, Liverpool and Red Star Belgrade? And Red Star Belgrade and Liverpool are the only two to have won the European Cup. It's a beautiful thing. PSG, I was shocked to find out that PSG was only formed in the 1970s. I would have thought they were older than that. Really think that Insigne is the answer. I don't, because we have Chambo and I believe he's back in February, so I don't want to or need anybody else at the club. Chambo's brilliant. Love him. So much dynamism, so much pace and power, brings a lot to the team, was an excellent piece of business by the club. But I would disagree to some extent, Damien, and that I still think we need somebody in that position or in the 10. Look, there's no doubting that Shaqiri's doing a very good job. We can have conversations about if you think he's top level or not. I think he can do a job. I don't think he's really top level. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is brilliant. Will he ever get back to the level that he was playing at with this injury? None of us know. All we can do is hope that he does. But I'd like to see somebody brought in, mate. And that for me is, you're getting to the stage where the jigsaw is fully made then. And we don't have many more weaknesses. What else do we have? Speculation FSC are in advanced talk to sell to a Dubai-based company is the latest rumour, said Ladzone. They're all rumours, mate. There's loads and loads of rumours. There was the rumour that Sheikh Mansour's cousin or stepbrother or brother-in-law or something like that was interested in buying us for $2 billion at one point, but yet there was no proof of funds. I've said before that FSG do have some brokerage or some firm that they use as a buffer between them and anybody looking to invest in the club. So this crowd basically do some due diligence on these people, see if they have the funds, see what their background is like, and see if they're worth bringing on and showing to FSG. So whoever, if there is somebody there looking to buy the club, then one thing is for certain, they're going to have deep pockets. And I still don't think FSG are going to sell anytime soon. Of course, if somebody came in and offered them ridiculous money, like anything else, there's always a number. But for now, it seems like they want to take on somebody as a minority partner to inject some capital into the club, possibly open up some new markets for them. And the club, of course. Craig, do you think Klopp will extend his contract at the club? No, mate, I don't. And I don't see that as a bad thing. If he does extend it, it'll be because they want to give him more money and he deserves it. And for that reason, brilliant. But he's signed down to a pretty long-term deal, Cameron. So it's only for financial reasons, I think, if he gets rewarded with a better deal. And look, if he deserves it, happy days. If he sees out his contract, then I'm fucking happy as, mate. That's another 5 years after this year. They're very much like a family. They appreciate what they have at LFC, Klopp lads and fans, said Tina. I'm so glad to see people being a lot more positive around the owners. I mean, if we fast forward back, no, Craig, it's called rewind. If we rewind back 18 months, this conversation would have been a lot different. I'm not saying I can speak for everybody in here, but I remember my times doing podcasts and getting people's opinions, and it was different. And it's great to see that everybody's coming around and everybody's understanding and they're clearly learning. I think Jurgen Klopp again has played a massive part in all of this. When Jurgen Klopp became available, it seems like that was the man that they wanted immediately. Jurgen Klopp was the man for them. And why wouldn't he be? I mean, he can bring prestige to the club again. Not that we were never prestigious, that's not the right thing to say, but the attraction, he can bring the spotlight, shine the spotlight on Liverpool again, bring players to the club that we may not have been able to get under Brendan Rodgers, and some other bits and pieces, and he's done all that. So they've been proven absolutely spot on. Mourinho or Klopp earns 10 million, Mourinho earns 15 million. That's serious wedge, but do you know what? Look, leave them to it. I mean, whatever somebody earns is their own business. Whatever people earn, that's not our business. All we can hope for really is that they do the fucking job. They're not going to be paid what the clubs or businesses can afford to pay them. So if Klopp earns 10, Mourinho earns 15 million, I'd still take Klopp every day of the week, and twice if he's only 2/3 of the wage. Very much like a family business. I've done that. Craig, I truly believe that Fabinho will be the next Patrick Vieira. It's a big shout, Lizzie. I hope he is as well. I mean, Patrick Vieira was one hell of a footballer, and he has all the facets to be a very similar type of player. Possibly not as physically strong as Patrick Vieira, although he does have those octopus legs. So yeah, fingers crossed. I can't wait to see how he develops, and also Naby Keita. I really can't wait to see the best of Naby in a Liverpool shirt, because I think people still don't realise, maybe not so much within our own fan base, but outside of Liverpool fans, I feel that people don't realise quite how fucking good Naby Keita is. He's an absolute monster of a midfielder. Craig, today we were suggesting in class something that we watched for a bit, and I asked my teacher to put on. We started to watch yesterday's video and my teacher subbed. That's amazing. Well, thank you to your teacher for subbing, and I don't know if the language that I used was suitable for your classmate, but thank you so much for sharing us or trying to let people know about us. I mean, word of mouth is a massive help, and so many people have come on here saying that they were suggested it by X and Y, and again, that's very much appreciated, guys. Thank you. Doctors are like some football fans. They feel they need to find some disease, and then usually it's the wrong one. Funny story, Rod. I don't know if this is a funny story, but I think it's funny because I've got a fucked up sense of humour. I had really bad pains going back maybe 8 years ago. Really bad shooting pains down my back and my side. And these pains kept coming and going for a long time. And one day the pain got so bad that I went into casualty. And I went in and they did all these tests on me. And they tried to tell me that I had, what's the thing called? Oh, bollocks, what's it called? It's an STD, not gonorrhea, not the KLOPP. What the chlamydia. They tried to tell me I had chlamydia. And I remember looking at your man going, what? And he goes, are you sexually active? And I said, yes, I'm married. And he's like, well, you know, you've got chlamydia. And I was like, sorry? Then you go back and you have these conversations with your wife, and you're like looking at your missus going, how the fuck did, what the fuck is going on here? Anyway, cut a long story short, it turns out that they were so fucking wrong. I had gallstones. I absolutely did not have chlamydia. I got a massive apology from the hospital, but it was a conversation. It was so fucking awkward to have that conversation with your missus when it turned out to be gallstones. And it was so funny because the person that copped it was gallstones was a junior doctor, which made it hilarious. Look, long story short, gallbladder taken out, everything's grand, but as you said, Rod, they can be wrong at times. They can. My wife really didn't find that a funny story when I had to come home and have that conversation with her, because automatically you're assuming, are you cheating? Are you a cheating bastard? But yeah, it's funny now to look back on it, but it wasn't at the time. What was it? Linked to Dembele January transfer window, 85 million. Somebody put that in earlier on, facility time. 85 million would be a big loss for Barcelona to take. Well, there was 120 something million they bought him for, I think, or they agreed to buy him for. So I don't know. Dembele has been long linked to Liverpool. There was a story that Christian told me before, one of the guys that was involved in the podcast, and he was saying that Dembele used to rent a home off Jurgen Klopp, or used to rent Jurgen Klopp's house off him, and apparently trashed it a little bit or something with a party. And there was a little bit of bad blood between the two, but I don't know how true that is. The renting of the house part is definitely true, but I don't know if there's any bad blood there or not. I fucking love Klopp, Craig. Can you imagine if City did get VVD? Holy shit, thank God he picked us. It is still amazing that he picked us, isn't it? You'd imagine he'd have got offered more money at Manchester City. He'd have still got to play under a fantastic manager, because, you know, there's no doubt in Pep Guardiola is an amazing manager. And he would have been guaranteed a league title almost, like guaranteed it straight away. But he chose us, and that tells you the character of the man in Virgil van Dijk, and it also tells you the picture that Jurgen Klopp must have painted and the project that Jurgen Klopp must have laid out to him. I think somebody coming into Liverpool like that, especially Virgil van Dijk, would know, you win a league title here with Liverpool Football Club and you're going down in folklore. We're building a fucking statue. Whoever gets us this first league title in 28 years, it's going to be massive. So maybe it'll just feel a bit more like when we heard Stevie G say that one league title or one Champions League with Liverpool would be worth 10 anywhere else. So maybe he feels similar, although he's got no sentimental attachment to Liverpool. I believe when he played against us one time, Virgil, he came off the field and he said to one of his teammates, "Why wouldn't you want to come and play here?" Because he was just blown away by the atmosphere inside the stadium. James Farrar said, "Even if FSG leave tomorrow, they've done us a great service," which they have, mate. I very much agree. I'd like to apologise for having called Shaqiri a dwarf. He's a person of restricted growth, says Rod. Okay, Rod, fair enough. What betting fraud is Sturridge meant to have done? Oh God, there was a couple of things, Mossy. I read them out last night. One of them was passing on information that wasn't generally available to the public. Whether this is inside information on team selection, I don't know, something along those lines. The first part basically said he couldn't bet on football in any context. It went on for a while. I don't understand the ins and outs of it, but that's basically the two of them that he's been charged with. Klopp's the type of guy who will accept it when it comes that there's no more he can do. I agree with that as well. Dembele is a good player, but do you think he's good to be around? Seems like a troublemaker. Again, we heard this before though, Shabir, haven't we? We heard Daniel Sturridge was apparently a troublemaker. We heard that Shaqiri was a troublemaker, that he was a little bit fucking arrogant and he had a little bit of an attitude. We haven't seen that from either of those guys at Liverpool. So whatever the perceptions are, the wider public of Dembele, he won't come to Liverpool. Klopp won't bring in anybody to that group that he thinks will unsettle the group. We've seen what he did with Mamadou Sakho. Sakho broke the rules a couple of times. He turned up late for training and stuff, and Klopp booted him out of the club. Yes, there was the whole thing about the failed drugs test, and the supplements and all that stuff, the fat burners. But no, there's no way. Klopp's not going to bring anybody into the club to fuck up the mentality that's in the group. So if anybody comes into the club, you can be sure that they've been researched, they've been looked into. Klopp has met them, he sat down with them, and he knows what he's bringing in, because he's not going to fuck up everything he's created by bringing in a troublemaker. It's just not going to happen. If Insigne signs for LFC, Shaqiri will steal his dinner money, said Crapbag. Definitely will, definitely, 100%. Dembele went AWOL at Barcelona. Was it I know he went AWOL at Dortmund. I remember he definitely went AWOL at Dortmund. I'm not sure about Barcelona. You could well be right. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just know he disappeared when he wanted that move to Barcelona. He disappeared around Dortmund. I think Philip is having a stroke. He's spamming random letters. I mean, leave him to it. Whatever makes him happy. What else have we got? Klopp said the Dembele story is rubbish. There was rubbish piling on the rubbish bins when Big D moved out. That's all. Well, at least he was in the gaff, so at least I got that part right. I wanted to let you know that we're in for Dembele, and this is recently he isn't playing much, said Tony. Couple of people have said that, mate. Is it true? I don't know. I honestly haven't got a fucking Scooby-Doo if this is true or not. It's a story that's been linked for a long time. I mean, this is I think the third or fourth window. Oh, I remember us being linked to Dembele. Even when he was at Dortmund, we were linked to him. If he hasn't succeeded in Barcelona, I don't know. There's stories that Coutinho isn't doing well, isn't settling well at Barcelona as well. Fuck them all. If we bring in a player, great. If he comes to Liverpool, happy days. I'm sure Klopp will get the best out of him. He's a great talent, but you know, that money, that amount of money just seems, even in this day and age, man, it seems too high. Even I know they paid more. The 85 being linked, it just seems too high for what he's achieved. Again, that would be interesting to see. I don't know what way the deals are structured around Coutinho as well, so maybe there's some payments still owed there, maybe something could be done, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out though. And again, for Barcelona to sell him in January, they're going to want to have somebody lined up, because they're not just going to weaken their squad, particularly when they're still in the Champions League. They're top of the league at the minute, although they dropped points. They lost, was it 4-3 or something like that to Betis at the weekend in the Bernabeu, in the Nou Camp, which is crazy. 4-3 to Betis at home is mad. Dembele might be a bit too rich for our blood. Crazy numbers, said Brian Morrissey, which is kind of where I am as well, mate. That type of money, I mean, you're getting what, Nabil Fekir and 20 odd million change, 25 million change, maybe even a bit more. Those seem very, very high numbers. A few more comments to get through. I thought it was catching back up, but seems like I have a lot of people's comments to get through. Apologies if I've missed your comment, by the way. I'm trying to get through as many as I can. Don't forget, by the way, to drop a like on the stream, guys, if you haven't done so already. It just takes a second. It means the world to us. It really does, because it lets people know, it lets us know that people like what we're doing, and we do appreciate that. And it looks good on the streams as well. And if you're new to the stream, guys, please do subscribe as well. We're only a few away from 4,500, and every milestone is very much appreciated. Wait, there was some more comments I missed, so apologies. Dembele is a good player, but you think he's good to be around. We've already read that one. Anthony Peters said, I read a report tonight with the fella in Birmingham area putting a 5-figure sum on studs to go to AC Milan when he was on loan at West Brom. He lost his fucking money then, didn't he? So if that was the information that he got, then he got fucked over, didn't he? Pretty easy for Sturridge to get out of that one. Did I move to Paris or AC Milan? No. Then why would I tell him I was moving? I don't know. It's nuts. So fucking annoying that Naby hasn't gotten going yet. He was my pick for player of the year. I can't wait, Brian. When he hits the ground, man, when he clicks, it's going to be awesome. I have him on the back of my shirt this year, and it's only the second player's name I've ever got on the back of a Liverpool shirt. Yes, people can say, fuck you, you're old, you're 37, you shouldn't be getting names and numbers on the back of your shirt, but I was excited. I got to admit, I was excited that he was coming. I also have a framed Naby Keita shirt down in my living room, which I'm sure if you guys don't know the story, it was sent over to us by Liverpool Football Club, so much love for that one. But yeah, man, I love him as well. I think he's going to be an absolute beast, Brian, when he gets going. And maybe we have to wait for next year to see the best of him. That's okay. It takes some players longer than others to settle into the Premier League, and with his injury that he's had as well, it kind of has broke up his preparations. And let's not forget, 3 international fucking breaks now already in the season after a World Cup year. And look, I know the World Cup year didn't affect everybody in the Liverpool squad, but it affected a fair chunk. It hasn't allowed, and not just us, to be fair, I'm not complaining about Liverpool, it's affected every team in the Premier League. The teams haven't got a chance to get into the rhythm yet. These international breaks are a fucking curse. What else we got? Told you what? What's this? I can told you what, you have kids, but it's kids in here. I don't know what that means. Fernando said, I had a dream that I was watching a porno in school with my class. That's a strange fucking dream, mate. I hope it was at least a good porn. Whenever Pep leaves City, teams such as Chelsea, Arsenal, obviously Liverpool will be clapping their hands. Gives them every chance to catch up. Yeah, I mean, he's a great manager, but it's the owners as well. I cannot fucking wait for the day that comes when those fuckers are really punished for the cheating that they've been doing. It's disgusting. It really is fucking disgusting, the way they've been just financially doping. I love saying that phrase, by the way. Financially doping. It sounds damn nice. And it's the best way of sticking the boot in as well. It sounds better than just spending money or spending ridiculous amounts of money. Financially doping just sounds a bit more serious. Could VVD and Gomez be feared for the next 5 to 8 years like Ferdinand and Village partnership? What age is VVD? 26? 25, 26? Is he older than that? I think he's 26. So 5 to 8 years, absolutely, yeah. 5 years, 31, even 8 years, 34 perhaps. He's that kind of a player, isn't he? He does ooze talent, charisma, reads the game well. I don't know what talent and charisma has to do with this, but yeah, he could certainly be here 5 to 8 years. And what a partnership that would be. I mean, you said Ferdinand and Visits. I would give you Hippie and Honcho. Remember I was playing football in school and I done a slide and stopped in the line to stop a goal. I pulled my hamstring and the hospital said it was my appendix. I have an appendix story as well, Ben. I was in hospital once again with a different pain, and like you, they told me it was my appendix. They had me ready to go. They had me in a bed in the surgical ward until somebody noticed that the pain was actually on my opposite side. I don't know, man. It's mad. Absolute madness. Can I please get a spanner? If not, sorry for asking. There you go. Oh, hang on. No, it won't let me do it, mate. I don't know why. Yeah, it's not giving me the option. Sorry. I'll have to log back in off another account, Subi. Remind me tomorrow and I promise you I'll do it, mate. I promise you I'll do it tomorrow. If not, maybe if Connor's watching the stream, Connor could do it now, but for some reason it's not letting me when I click on it. It might be because I have a setup via my laptop via another screen, so that might be why, but I can't at this minute. But if Connor's watching, he'll do it. Dembele joined after Klopp left Dortmund. Can't be true about him renting Klopp's house as he was still in France, but I might be wrong. I wanted to let you know, room for Dembele, seen this one already. Oh, I'm fairly sure he rented Klopp's house. I'm fairly sure that part's true. I don't know when or where that was, but I'm fairly sure it's true. Craig, do you think Klopp has brought in any of his previous players from Dortmund? Is his training too strenuous? Or why do you think Klopp has never brought it? I think it was a gentleman's agreement, Lizzie, that he wouldn't go back in for the players of Dortmund. Sometimes these things can be agreed for maybe 3 years. Sometimes it's I don't know, could be for good. I don't know, maybe he just respects Dortmund too much to go back in. I have no idea why. And maybe he doesn't think some of the players will be suited to the league. I don't know, is the honest answer, Lizzie. But I do remember hearing something said that that it was an agreement somewhere that he wouldn't go back in for them. I'd rather have Denis Suarez than Dembele. I feel Klopp could make him into a boss player much cheaper, said Mr. RJC. As long as it's not blue, said Tony. LFC 5, that's a top idea, fella. Would at least get All Black for backup. Fuck it, splash the cash. There's no way we're buying Jan All Black to come in as backup. And there's no way Jan All Black is coming in to back up anybody. He's too damn good. At least there won't be any international breaks until March or so, said Mossy Wassy. That is true. Likes baby. Right, guys, look, serious question before we finish up tonight. We spoke about Jurgen Klopp for most of the stream and it's been beautiful. I've really enjoyed listening to or reading your comments and reflecting on his time at Liverpool, but it's at that period now where people are starting to question if he needs to win a trophy, and I want to know how you guys feel about it. If Jurgen Klopp was to go through this season and not win a trophy for Liverpool Football Club, do you still feel the same, or would you feel like a little bit let down, or that perhaps he hasn't achieved what you'd have hoped? Or is it too soon? Well, no, it can never be too soon to win a trophy, but is it too soon to start questioning him? I want to know basically, if we finish this year without a trophy, how you'd feel. Would you still love the manager as much as you do now? Would you still have as much faith in him? I certainly would. I have to say I certainly would. Where we are now is the battle for the Premier League is fucking tough. City broke 100 points last year. So to get that Premier League title, it's going to take one hell of a team. We're there at the minute. If you fall a little bit short, you know, that's not the end of the world. For me, I would much rather win the league next year than win an FA Cup this year, if that makes any fucking sense. I mean, it's the league for me. But anyway, I want to know how you guys feel. I want to know what your thoughts are. Is he under pressure to win a trophy this year? Yes or no? Do you remember the jokes of how if we buy Alisson, he'll flop because of Karius and our goalkeeping coaches are dirt? The thing about Jan Achterberg, Tony, is, and I've said this before, any manager that's worked with him has had nothing but good things to say about him. And look at the amount of managers that he survived. He came in when Xavi Valero left under Rafa Benitez, I think. He's been through Rafael Benitez, Kenny Dalglish, he's been through Roy Hodgson, Brendan Rodgers. He's now here with Jurgen Klopp, and he's still here. So whatever we say about him and whatever we feel about him, he clearly knows what he's doing. But then again, you look and say, well, has any goalkeeper actually improved under his tutelage? And I would say no. But the managers know a lot more than we do. They see him training every day of the week. They see what he puts the keepers through. So it's a bit of a funny one, isn't it? Thoughts on Ziyech, said Ferno. Don't think he is at the level we need. I also think he's a little bit older than many people believe. I think he's like 25 or something. He's not like the 21, 22 year old that some people believe he is. He's okay. He's above okay. That's me being harsh. I just don't think he's our level. I don't think he's a player that could bring us on to the next level. It's Fekir, possibly Dembele, Pulisic, Dybala, maybe Insigne. I mean, they're kind of the level of players I'd rather we be looking at than a Ziyech. He seems more of a Spurs or an Everton type player to me. Klopp probably hasn't taken Dortmund players because he's a proper guy who believes a player should sign for the club and not just the manager. Hope you guys are having a good day, said Paul. I'm having a fucking great day, mate. I hope you are. I would not be Klopp out if Klopp doesn't win a trophy. I'd be a bit disappointed, but still back him the same. Thank you for that one, Ferno. I won't be let down. Hopefully we can win the FA Cup at least, said LFC_5. Brian Morris, he said, fuck winning a cup and finishing third or fourth. I want a Premier League challenge. That is so where I am as well, Brian. Oh God, I want this Premier League so fucking badly. Klopp is the man, Craig, although there are no guarantees for success. If we complete this year, then he's okay, but we must compete. Otherwise, question marks will be raised, especially with the money he spent. Well, look, Paul, that's a fair comment, Ori, the money, because he has been backed. He's been backed substantially. We cannot use the excuse anymore that we can't compete financially for players. We have bought in some really expensive players, broken world records in 2 positions. He has been backed. So yes, the excuse isn't there anymore with regards to the squad. It's now down to the squad and the manager to succeed. And whether that's this year or next year, that's fair enough. For me, it's fair enough anyway. But we cannot have any more excuses. We have every reason to succeed. Tina said, no, I'd still feel the same. Klopp has done great and I think we're nearly there, but it might take another season. Tony Kelly says, nope, that was about somebody else. Couldn't care less. Rome wasn't built in a day. Give the Klopp our time, said Tom Boland. Farwell said, for me, as long as Jurgen improves us, makes us more competitive, creates a great team of exciting play, he has all the time he needs. Nice if he wins, but there's no one better for us right now. God almighty, I love coming on here and reading the comments. I go onto Twitter after this and I feel like banging my head against the fucking wall some of the time with the negativity that's on there. Right, where else? Well, we've gone through that one. Have I missed some comments? Klopp is the GOAT, said Stephen Shaw. Love it. Love it. Nice and simple. Klopp is the GOAT. There you go. Damn right. I fucking love Jurgen Klopp. I really do. If you're watching this, Kloppo, I love you, man. I fucking love you. Where else? We just ordered a midnight curry, comfort eating on the international break, said Lee. Fuck it, man. Get it into you. Why not? As soon as I finish this stream, I'm going downstairs. I've got me a bag of peanut M&Ms in the freezer and a bag of beautiful Irish cheese and onion crisps ready to go. I'm not even joking. I have a routine. Do it every day. You don't get this physique by not looking after yourself with M&Ms and crisps. You know what I'm saying? Don't care about trophies. I'm happy anyway because of how Liverpool play. It's like saying I only love my children if they win stuff. It doesn't work like that, does it? I get you, Rod. I mean, I get you. No matter what we say, if Jurgen Klopp was to leave tomorrow and we didn't win a damn thing, we've had some fucking memories. We've had some run in the European Cup under him, in the Europa League. Yeah, there's been some great memories, but it would be just so beautiful for him to be the manager that lifts the Premier League. It just would be so fitting. It would bring it to a beautiful conclusion, and yeah, I just so hope he does it. Klopp doesn't need to win a trophy this year, but he'll have to next year, said Mossy Wassy. Brian Morris, he said, Klopp is under no pressure if he doesn't win a knockout competition. Best manager we could possibly have. And Connor has done that for you, Subi. He's given you your spanner. Thank you, Connor. Tony Kelly said, Craig, let's face it, we paid him stupid money. He'd be happy to sit on the bench. Then we've 2 world-class keepers. I don't think he would. Honestly, don't think he would. He only has one career. He can get massive money anywhere. I honestly don't think he would come and sit on the bench. He wants to win things. He wants to succeed. With all due respect, he's not going to do that on an international basis. You know, he's not at a top. But his country isn't one of the top countries in the world in international football. So it's his club career really where he's going to succeed. I don't think he'd want to sit on the bench. He could get good wages in a number of places. We'll win something when we're good enough. Klopp is a fantastic manager, said Vinny. This is the last season I'd accept no trophy, said Mr. RJC. Klopp is a legend. He's building a competitive team, said Shabir. We need to rob Atletico's goalkeeping coaches. They always seem to bring out world-class goalkeepers. Yeah, that's true, actually. Whether that's the scouts though, or the keepers, I don't know. Maybe it's the scouts bringing through players. Or it could be their academies. I don't know where these keepers are coming from. Where else have we got? I think, have we done? Nope, there's some more. I thought I was caught up. Apparently I wasn't. I know it's not realistic, but can you imagine if we turned into the next city, said Tony Kelly. I don't want to turn into the next city. I really don't. I want us to succeed with the way we're doing things at Liverpool. I know what you mean by winning shit. That would be great. But I don't ever want to turn into Manchester City. They are the epitome of everything I despise about football. Honestly. They're just, I fucking despise new money football clubs and buying success. Would I like Liverpool to, have had more money over the years? Yes, maybe. Of course. Actually, yes, of course I would. But still, it would feel so much sweeter to win it this way. To have built up to it, to have gradually got there. It would just be sexy as fuck, let's be honest. And there's going to be Liverpool fans out there who disagree with me wholeheartedly and would have absolutely loved the sugar daddy to come in and put money into Liverpool and to win stuff. And, you know, everybody has their own perspective. I respect everyone's opinion. But for me, there's just something more romantic about doing it this way. What would be funny is City winning the league and getting relegated due to FFP rules. Yeah, it would be funny, but at the same time, if we finish second, imagine how shitty that would feel. That you win the league, but you didn't win the league. They get relegated and you don't get the real celebration. There's always going to be an asterisk beside that one. So, look, if I'd like to see them fuck down through the divisions if they're caught cheating. But at the same time, that's the worst part of somebody cheating, isn't it? That whoever does finish behind them in whatever sport it is in the world, they never really get to have that proper celebration. Brian Morrissey said, Tony Kelly, all black on the bench for LFC. Say that out loud and see how crazy it sounds. It does sound pretty crazy. Sterling is world class, but I don't think he's worth 300 grand a week. He's worth whatever a club's willing to pay him, man. Is he better than Ozil? Yes, and Ozil's on 300 grand a week, so I suppose you've got to look at it from that perspective. He wouldn't get it at Liverpool, but Liverpool aren't paying the type of wages that Manchester City are. Ozil had Arsenal over a fucking barrel in the summer. They knew that they couldn't afford to lose Sanchez and lose Mesut Ozil as well, and they're losing Aaron Ramsey at the end of this summer. So yeah, 300 grand a week was what Ozil was worth to them, but Sterling 300 grand a week at City, do you know, he's a very, very good player. He's a very, very high level player. Imagine how good he would be if he could just fucking finish in the box. I'd say that must drive City fans fucking mad, looking at him and knowing that if he could just actually shoot, how good he'd be. And he still scores a shit ton of goals. I mean, he's with 20 something last year, I think. Ziyech has been ridiculous this season. So many chances created, said Connor. Where are we? Farwell said, considering the financial doping City have done, it buys him more grace because he's competing with them alone. That's amazing. Beating them's near impossible. Hope we beat them at their place. And what's this? Beat them at their place and win the Premier League on points. I fucking love to win the Premier League so much. So much. Ziyech is a great creator, best in the Netherlands, but the Dutch league can be quite misleading. Thank you for the mod, said Subi. No problem, mate. Russian roulette, them international games, never know who's going to get hurt or be out. It's a fucking joke. It's not like we'll win a World Cup anytime soon, said Tony. I know it's not realistic, but can you imagine that? We've already read that one. And where are we? I only said this last season. I'd accept no trophy because next season expectations should be high. The greatest memory is how we fucked City, said Shabir. That was beautiful. It really was beautiful. Just to teach them a fucking lesson. I hate hearing teams say they're not going to be intimidated when they come to Anfield. I hate seeing them disrespect the impact that the KLOPP has on European nights, and what an intimidating factor Anfield is, and how loud it is, and how passionate people are, and how they can almost suck the ball into the goal or fucking just draw the ball towards the goal. There's something unique about the KLOPP and Anfield on a European night, and it's inexplainable. I think even Tuchel couldn't explain it. He was baffled as to what the fuck was going on. Manchester City thought they'd been there in the Premier League. They thought they knew what Anfield was like. They were rattled. They were clearly fucking rattled. It's a beautiful thing, and it's something that we have that many clubs don't have. And long may people keep disrespecting it or underestimating it, because they'll do it after peril. And fucking over Manchester City last year, home and away, was a thing of beauty. What's even more beautiful about it is the fucking excuse making that they've done since. It was the Conor Copperberg's fault. It was the referee's fault. It was everybody's fault except the players and the manager. They just could not take any fucking responsibility for the fact that they were beaten home and away. And that's what makes it all the funnier. They hadn't even got the fucking good grace to say, well done lads, we'll get you next time. That's what makes it so disgusting. That's why they're so fucking pathetic. And that's why so many people despise them. Apart from the fact they're cheating pricks. 90% of clubs don't win anything. They also support their club. I'm hopeful though. Pep is a checkbook manager, always has been. Klopp isn't. That's all the better for me, said Rod. To come second, the city is not failing. Providing entertainment week in and week out isn't enough for me. Watching my heroes give it all is enough, said Lizzie. That's true. You can never ask any more from players than to give their best. And I think in most things in life, if you see somebody giving their best, yeah, you're with them, you understand. Right guys, I am going to call it a night if that's okay. I'm absolutely knackered, but thank you. Tonight was so much fun. I loved coming on to talk about Jurgen Klopp. I love getting your opinion. There's some new people in the chat as well, which was great to see. James Patrick said, love the channel, keep up the good work. I support from Cork. Thank you so much, James. That's very kind of you to say, mate. Great to see you in the chat. Make sure you come back another time, buddy, and keep posting in the chat and let us get to know you a little bit. And hello to Cork as well. I'm in Wexford, as you may or may not know. Right guys, as I said, I'm going to head off. Thank you so much. Don't forget to drop a like on the stream before you go, guys. And of course, if you're new, help us get to that 4,500 subscriber mark and hit that subscribe button. I will talk to you all tomorrow, guys. If you have any thoughts or any subjects you want to have a chat about, put them in the comment section when the stream goes up and we'll talk about them tomorrow night. Until then, thank you all for being absolute legends. Love each and every one of you. Up the motherfucking Reds.